Topic 4. This is Trove Topics, where we do community questions. I didn't bother putting out the new feelers because we still had plenty from last week. So let's dive right into those. Up first, Brandon Gann at Games Gann, friend of the show, asks, what was the best moment you have had being a member of the Kinda Funny community? You want to go first, Kaylee?
The best moment almost always tops itself, because the best moment is almost always the last community event, because community events are the best. I still feel like I'm going to contradict myself as soon as I said that, because PAX West has now passed, but Kinda Funny Live 2 was just this week-long love fest of just hanging out with my favorite people. And we'd get halfway through the week and be like, oh, the guys are hosting like some kind of fucking event of some kind.
Yeah.
Saturday or whatever. Like, oh yeah, we're here for some shit. I don't know. You want to go grab some ramen? Like.
Yeah. We've been to Alcatraz. We had brunch. We went and saw a movie, and the show hasn't even started yet.
So much brunch.
So much brunch. I mean, you had more brunch than me because you went to secret brunch with Gia while you guys had shipped the rest of us off to Alcatraz. You evil community planners, just doing that to get rid of the competition, so you had Gia all to yourselves. I know.
Mimosas.
Bottomless mimosas. There you go.
But you did get to go to super secret double exclusive brunch.
Yes, I got to go to the ladies only brunch.
Yes.
With ladies and then Zyger and me. The Kinda Honey brunch.
Yeah.
The first
Kinda Honey brunch.
The first official, unofficial Kinda Honey brunch.
But it's always so great to see everyone, because just every time, usually there's like that weird, like, you know, I know these people, but I only know them online, so is it gonna be awkward? And then it just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone's so fucking cool, and it's like, hey, what's going on? Oh, you're so great! And there's just so much love there, and I just love it. So it's always that reminder of why we do this, and why I put up with internet trolls, and why I'm okay with people telling me how fat I am and how shitty I am. And anytime someone says something nasty to me on the internet, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like, why do I put up with this?
And well, I mean, as I always say, we could also just not be shitty. That would probably make them happier. Whatever.
It's just it's so invigorating, and just it pushes that fire in you to do the next event, and like just get more of that just concentrated love. And just anytime that I can feel the community, it's just a beautiful thing. I love it. I live for it. I crave it.
Nice. So for me, weirdly, would have had a completely different answer last week. Last week, had we like finished the episode, it probably would have been like a toss-up between and I wrote about this in my Kinda Funny Live 2 recap. There was a moment when Cisco's up there singing the Pokemon theme song with Tim, where Tim had put a picture of a bunch of us that went to PAX South into the montage video. And it was such a touching, like I saw that and immediately like gushed with tears, because I had helped make that happen. Kinda Funny wasn't at PAX South. I just randomly popped into one of Sean Pitts's like Destiny streams, was like, hey buddy, I'm thinking of going to PAX at the end of the month, PAX South, you know, early January is when this is happening. Are you like, what are you thinking? And within half an hour, we'd like talked ourselves into going, and we had like a group of like 8 other people that were going to go with us, and we just kind of made this impromptu like community get together in a completely different city, an event that Kinda Funny wasn't even going to be at. We made it happen, and that was like the picture from our last day, and the fact that like Tim had seen that and felt it was like a great moment to include in their Kinda Funny Live 2 event, and like the pinnacle of their Kinda Funny Live 2 event. That was just like it hit me like right in the feels. Then the other like tied moment was when we went to dinner after I did the games cast, and Greg said, I think that was our best one yet. That like I went on the Gamescast specifically to see if I could hold my own with Greg and Colin and Tim. But I mean, like I love Tim, and I think he's incredibly come into his own. But back then, it was kind of like it was Greg and Colin, and Tim was kind of like wrangling them a little bit. And so I was like, I want to be like, if I want to do this, I'm going to test myself with like the best of the best. And for Greg to have said that, to have said like I fit in great, I did a great job, and it was like he thought genuinely it was the best show they'd done yet. It was like all my hearts were aflutter. So it was like it was a toss up between those two moments, and there have been so many. I mean, just like you're saying, like pretty much every time we get together is an incredible moment. But the new reigning champion is like all of my Friday last week. For those that don't know, I went to San Francisco for the IGN 20th anniversary party, and Greg and I had like worked it out. Greg had invited me back at PAX West to go and swing by the Kind of Funny studio the next time I was in town. As like a former guest who's now kind of in the industry, he wanted me to see kind of where they had like what they were now. As somebody who had been in the spare bedroom, he kind of gave me that offer that they have said they're not doing tours or anything. It was because I'd been on the show. He wanted to kind of like thank me for that and the support and stuff. And so we worked it out, and I got to go kind of do a quick tour of the show or of the studio. And while I was there, I told him the exciting news that that a couple weeks ago I had been brought into the fold as an IGN freelancer. I hadn't published anything yet, but I was there, and I was going to be working with Andrew Goldfarb later that day to kind of work on a story. And so he got super excited for that, for me for that, and basically invited me on to kind of make a little cameo appearance in on Colin and Greg Live on Friday, where like I got to announce that, and he announced it on my behalf, but we got to like tell the Kind of Funny community, which has been incredible in making like all of this happen for me. It's incredibly supportive, and I can't thank the community enough. You who are watching or listening, or anybody who has bothered to look at anything I do, like I'm getting these opportunities because of you. So thank you. And you as well, Kaylie. Yes, you are absolutely a part of that. I'm looking right at the camera, so you're seeing it too. And then to cap it all off that night, after I went into Kind of Funny, I went directly from there to the IGN like tour that they were doing, the First Fridays tour that they did for everybody who was there for the house party. And Andrew invited me to stick around a little bit afterwards, and basically like they were going to give me a story to write and work with me and get me kind of familiar and comfortable with the process and get me that byline. Andrew kept saying, I want to give you something so you can have it on the site, so you can point to something and say I did that. And so they gave me a story about Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Ewan McGregor, saying while he's doing press for a movie that he's promoting, that he would love to do like 2 more Obi-Wan Kenobi movies, as kind of set in between the prequels and the original trilogy. And so I wrote that story up and got to publish it, and that was so I got to go from announcing to kind of the world. Like I told a few people here and there that I had gotten this opportunity, and work kind of had just kept me from getting to really sit down and do any of the freelance writing. So I got to tell like the people who mean the most to me kind of in one shot. And then within 8 hours, I had like the first thing I could point to and say, and this is what I did this. And then it like hit the top of Reddit, and I'm like a weird little golden boy, or at least a jokey golden boy in the among some of the IGN editors who were like, well, I guess you're gonna have to do this every time now. So that whole day kind of is so far my like number one moment. And I can't wait to see what comes next. Like
don't worry, Trevor. I don't hold it against you that none of your great moments involve me in them at all. It's okay. I'm not bitter.
I mean, you were there in spirit. You were there. Mm-hmm. I was like tweeting and DMing and texting you. So don't give me that. Like I tweeted.
I'm giving you all of it.
tweeted all the Facebook admins or DM'd all the Facebook admins, like
Not even me personally.
the
All the
first,
admins.
like, shut up. Okay, just shut up. Sassy butt. Um, yeah, like you guys were the first ones to really see, apart from a couple of the my friends who like just happened to stumble upon me waiting outside for them to let me up. You guys were the first to kind of see my pictures from inside the studio. And yeah, I was honored to share that with you guys, and I'm honored to share kind of that story with the Trove Talke community. And thank you again
I'm
for
so excited
much.
for you. This is so awesome.
So that also kind of covers my the next question, which came from Zyger, Jonathan Zyger Landeros at Zyger1337. What were some of your favorite memories of the past year? Which has been the most fun event? So that immediately tops the like my favorite memories. But I would probably say that Kind of Funny Live 2, for a lot of the reasons you touched on earlier, is probably my most fun event as a whole of the year. So how about you?
I thought PAX East was super fun. Shout out to PAX East.
Yeah. You had
That was really
you had a super great time one night.
uh, uh, uh. I am totally responsible, especially with my alcohol.
And your hoodies.
Oh, R.I.P. my fucking filthy casual hoodie. And
that you bought like what that day?
Yeah, no, I bought. Okay, I got there Friday because I was a noob and didn't understand the concept for PAX East that everybody else got there like Thursday through Monday. So my dumbass was like, "Oh, I'll get there Friday through Sunday. It'll be awesome." And so I'm the loser that gets there after everyone and leaves before everyone. So everyone else is there longer than me. But I get my hoodie, buy it first thing Friday. It's purple. It's the softest thing I've ever felt in my life. It's beautiful. It's just like this like the greatest thing I've ever owned in my life. And then Saturday night, I'm the only one that brings a bag to the Kind of Funny party. So everyone shoves their hoodies in my bag. There's no room for my hoodie in the bag. So I place my hoodie on top of the bag. Everyone gives me their free drinks. I lose track of time. Colin leaves the party hella early. I think the party's almost over because Colin has left. So obviously everyone is leaving. Trevor decided to go to the IGN party instead.
Hi.
So Daddy's not there to take care of me. Clearly this is mostly Trevor's fault.
Yeah, I mean that kind of was the launching off point though that led to my favorite memory. So I think I'll take it.
So, whatever. So I'm like, I got like 8 drinks that everybody's handed me. I gotta leave soon because I think the party's over. So I just like drink all the drinks, and then they all hit me at once, and then I am drunk, and then it becomes apparently abundantly clear I need to leave. Fred takes such good care of me. Bless his little heart.
Shout out Fred Sullivan.
Yes, Fred Sullivan, the greatest. The true MVP of the night. He's like, get Kaylee's bag. Doesn't realize my hoodie isn't in my bag because my bag is full of hoodies. The next day, I'm like, my hoodie? Where's my hoodie? No one grabbed my hoodie. RIP my hoodie. I call the bar. The lying fucking bar tells me no one left anything at the bar last night. You're trying to tell me a bar full of 200 people, no one left a single thing at that bar last night? That's what you're trying to tell me right now? Bullshit.
I mean, I imagine what she was trying to tell you was that, like, the Square Enix people probably took the hoodie with them when they were cleaning up after the party. But yes, so they were absolutely just giving you bullshit.
Yes, that was bullshit. I had my hoodie less than 24 hours. I'm really sad. I went back to the Filthy Casual booth, and by the time I went back to the Filthy Casual booth Sunday morning, all they had left were extra large purple hoodies. And then I was just sad forever. The end. That's the end.
So that's your favorite memory from last year.
No, you had to bring up the one bad memory of PAX East.
Okay, well, so what was your favorite memory from the last year?
Oh God, Kind of Funny Live was so good. Our last brunch, the one with me, you, Lauren, Joey, Nikki found like the beach chalet, that beautiful brunch spot. It was so pretty. And getting ramen with Grimecraft. Hello, that's a great sentence.
That was a lot of fun.
That's a fabulous sentence. That's a great thing to say. It was all fantastic.
Yeah.
Just, I love life. I love everything about life. I love being in Seattle. That's dope. That's dope as fuck.
It's good that you're back then.
I'm excited for PSX. We're gonna get Zyger drunk. Then he can lose his hoodie.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Yeah. All right. Zyger continues to ask, in your opinion, how can someone best begin interacting and engaging with an online community such as KF, such as Kind of Funny? So I wrote an article about this that I'll probably link in the description below, because people like Brandon Gann kind of reached out to me at Kind of Funny Live and asked me that, like, how do I get involved in the Kind of Funny community? And like the cliff notes are basically like, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Like, don't try and get in to make a name for yourself, because while you might end up doing that, like, it shouldn't be your goal, because it's definitely not guaranteed. I mean, like, we have a rule in the group Sub Sunday for a reason, because Kind of Funny has inspired a ton of people, but we're not all gonna be able to kind of, there's so many of us trying to create things that it's just impossible to try and like consume everything. So we've kind of focused that to like, okay, you can post your stuff on one day a week, because this isn't the place to go to build an audience necessarily. You kind of have to put in the work to do it. You can't just expect it to happen. So assuming you're doing it for the right reasons, I also talked about, joining the community. So finding the Facebook group, finding any forums, like following people on Twitter and stuff. Like using Kind of Funny as the example, kind of go to where the Kind of Funny community is, and then interact. We talked earlier in the episode, a couple pieces ago. Kaylie talked about how she kind of was a lurker for a little while, and that's fine. And don't be afraid to be a lurker, but also don't be afraid to go in and like do some thumbs ups. So those are kind of my like quick bullet points, and like I said, I'll link the full like 7 or something things below. Do you have anything to add, Kaylie?
Yeah, I think especially piggybacking off the idea of doing things for the right reason, people can tell for sure, and I think it comes through. I've seen a lot of people get that kind of resentment and that almost feeling of entitlement, like, don't you know who I am? Or, I post a lot, so, you should know that I post like this, or things like that. And, people can be offended where it's like, you don't recognize me? I post every day. And it's like, well, no, maybe people don't recognize you, and you can't be offended by that. Like,
I mean, there's like 8,500 people in the Facebook group, like, and Facebook's algorithms might just make it so I only see a handful of episodes. Like, even as an admin, I might only see a handful of posts from like a certain select of people. There have been people that are in there like for 2 years, and something will come up, and I'll like do a search history on them, and I'll see like hundreds of posts that I've never seen before, just because this person, either I just was scrolling past mindlessly, or they just like didn't appear on my my version of the Facebook wall. So
for sure. And so Zyger will be really surprised when he's like, I'm sure a lot of people know who you are, and it's like, no, I assume no one knows who I am. I assume I have to identify, hey, just so you know, I'm an admin, that's why I'm giving you this warning. I'm not just some person going, hey, you can't do that, because you can't assume anyone is paying attention to who's posting what. You might post the same, you might post every Friday, hey, what's everyone playing today? And people might recognize that there's a what's everyone playing today post. But they
shout out Nathan Swisher.
See, like that. People might know that that post, but they might not connect the name. And so when you're doing it for the reason of wanting attention, it usually comes through, and people don't respond positively to that. It has to come naturally and earnestly. And so, we do get a lot of people going, well, how can I become, a mod on Twitch, or an admin, and how can I like kind of catch that attention? And there is no real like, if you do this, this, and this, guaranteed. There isn't an answer for that. It is just, you know, being positive, constantly setting that example, constantly setting that tone. Those are great things to do. That doesn't always guarantee anything, because there isn't a guaranteed way. But in terms of just how do you get active in a community, you find where that community exists. So for example, like Alfredo is primarily a Twitch streamer. So if you want to get out active in Alfredo's community, be in his Twitch chat all the time, talk in his Twitch chat all the time. You know, you might not even necessarily have to sub to it, but be active in the chat so people see that name all the time. If a community exists more where they're constantly throwing out, you know, when I first got into Podcast Beyond with Colin and Greg, it's because Greg would always make references to, oh, I saw in the Facebook group the other day, or there was this post in the Facebook group, and I was like, he talks about this Facebook group a lot. Clearly, there is something to this Facebook group. If you like a community, if you like a group, and they're constantly referencing their Reddit, go to their Reddit. There's probably something there for you. So look to where this community is directing you and go there. That's really important. And then, you know, you don't have to start off right away with 900 posts. It is okay to just start off lurking and, you know, upvoting things or liking things or just watching Alfredo's chat. But at a certain point, you do have to put yourself out there, because no one's going to know you any other way. Oh, it's 9.
Ooh, magical.
Yes.
That's right. It's 9 o'clock for both of us because we're in the same time zone now.
I know, yay! So yeah, it is just all about, you know, you can lurk, but when it comes to being active, it's about being active. And, you know, people can say things like, you know, well, I can't afford to go to Kind of Funny Live too, so I can never be an active part of this community. Well, there was a Niagara Falls meetup a couple months ago. There was not even a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago. There was a Seattle meetup last week. There's a Philadelphia meetup being planned right now. You know, if you want to meet other members of the community, make a meetup. It's that easy. So, you know, there's always a reason why not if you look for one. If you want to do something, you find a way to do it.
Brandon, who I'm gonna embarrass a little bit, so I'm so sorry, Brandon, at Games Gan, who I mentioned earlier, like I said, he kind of was the inspiration for like the whole article that I wrote about it, because he read my recap of Kind of Funny Live 2 because he'd seen, because like Greg retweeted it, and so he saw it and was a fan, and like he reached out to me. He sent me an email and said, hey, like, how do I get more involved? And we've become like great friends on the internet, even though he, you know, we've never met. He took some of that advice to heart, and he started showing up in the Twitch chat, and like immediately people like Joey and Zyger, Joey Noel and Zyger, like welcomed him, and he's incredibly supportive of people like me and Alex O'Neill and Ali Mushka and stuff. And so he's tweeting at us every now and then of like, you know, words of encouragement, or he reads something and likes it. And that is an incredible way to like, yeah, be like, stick out and be in somebody's memory. Like it, just doing it is like the way to kind of get involved. And, you know, everybody likes hearing nice things. Especially when we are dealing with like trolls who are calling us, you know, horrible names, or saying we're the death of the Kind of Funny Facebook group. The people that do reach out and like have nice positivity to say, like they stick in your heads. They like, that's rising above. It's like the IGN people, like in every tour they talk about how, you know, yeah, we know like the comment sections are horrible, but you guys are like the people who show up for an IGN tour are basically the physical embodiment of the opposite of the IGN comment section, because it's you're there because you want to be there, because you're passionate, because you love the product that much, and you love the people that much that you want to be there to support them and say nice things and learn from them. And it's always like the best part of their kind of their month is when they get to do those tours and meet the fans who are like the positivity that like helps keep them going. So yeah, it's It's find the community, interact with the community. If the community isn't, it isn't going to you, maybe you can go to them, or you can put together like an event yourself, and find like-minded people, and be cool, be good, do it for the right reasons.
Be cool.
Be cool. Oh yeah. So thank you for that question, Zyger. And he continues, if you can go to any city you haven't already been to just to have fun, what city would it be? I think my answer is Rome. I've not been to Rome yet. I want to go have fun and like sightsee the hell out of Rome.
I have a thing with going to cities I don't speak the language in. So like eventually I really would like to go to Tokyo. But my Japanese is abysmal. So I'd like to just like, go to my local community college and take at least, like beginner's Japanese before I do that.
I mean, it doesn't say you can't take a translator.
No, touche. So like, I've been to Costa Rica because I speak Spanish, but my Italian definitely doesn't exist. So I think London would be cool just because we do kind of have, a couple friends over there. But before that, I should probably get to Austin at some point. I just hate hot weather.
That's fair. It does kind of suck.
London probably is more my climate. I love Seattle because it's just Seattle is my weather. Like.
Then London is definitely your weather as well. It's
right?
actually
exactly.
London is rainier than Seattle is, I think.
That's me. Like kind of cold, rainy, a little bit miserable. Anything that makes you want to not go outside. Clutch.
More time to stay indoors and play video games.
Exactly. Like an excuse to not leave my house, but I don't like being hot. So like you live in the sun. Not my ideal situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being sweaty. It makes me cranky, and when I get cranky, I get whiny. So I do like
can confirm.
Hashtag rude.
Hashtag savage.
Trevor, you love me. God damn it, you love me.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's money's no object in this one, we'll say London. We'll say London? We're going to London, and Tom Hawkins has to hang out with me.
That's a solid choice.
He doesn't have an excuse. He has to play with me.
All right. Zyger continues to ask, when are you going to start up microbits again? I made you that super awesome graphic. And then he sticks his tongue out, and then he gives you a heart. Or he's got balls on his chin. Can't quite tell. I think I'm
going to go balls on chin, final answer.
Final answer? Cool. So we talked a little bit about microbits way back at the beginning of this episode, which by my calculations is probably like 5 hours now. I don't know. I'm so sorry. But that was a podcast you used to do with Sean Capri, right?
I love him so much.
So when are you going to start doing this show again?
I don't know. So Zyger was in town for Let's Play Live Chicago a couple months back when I was living in Chicago. And he was like, hey, I made a graphic for microbits, and also you should start doing it again. So he threw that out there, and I was like, well, I'm considering moving back to Seattle, so that would have to happen first, and that happened first. Yep. So yeah. So I'm getting settled now. I love podcasting. I do love editing audio, actually. I find it very soothing. So that's not even a hindrance to me. So we'll probably see. That's definitely something that could be in the cards. I'm not opposed to it. But I don't know. I have not given it much thought because I've been busy moving across country. Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Finally from Zyger. How many questions do you think Trevor will let me ask before he cuts me off from asking?
This many, Zyger.
We'll see if you show up on next week's show, Zyger. That's what I'm going to say.
No, that's hashtag savage.
Boom. Mic dropped. No, not going to do that.
I would say, but really carefully.
This is expensive. And then the final question of the evening of the show. My friends over at Toys for Games, that's Josh Brown, asked us to rate every single X-Men movie worst to best. So I have the X-Men movie here that we will be doing the ranking of. We've got X-Men, X-Men 2 United, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men First Class, The Wolverine, X-Men Days of Future Past, Deadpool, and X-Men Apocalypse. And you haven't seen like half of those, right?
I've seen 4 of those.
Okay. So what is your ranking worst to best of the 4 that you've seen?
Okay, I haven't seen X-Men, X2, X-Men 3, Wolverine, or Other Wolverine.
Okay. So you
Can
came
you
in
tell
with
how much?
so you're like the Saved by the Bell, the new class, and that's it. That's all you have.
Yeah. I could not give less of a shit about X-Men because I just don't give a fuck about Marvel.
See part 3 of this episode where we talked about DC for like an hour.
Yeah. I loved X-Men Evolution as a kid. I will say that. Shout out to X-Men Evolution.
Second time that has come up this week for me.
Yeah.
I was talking with Amanda Kane of Lipstick Nerds in San Francisco. We talked about X-Men Evolution.
Rogue from that series was my everything. She was so cool. And then when I found out what normal Rogue was like with her retarded ass accent and her giant hair and her stupid fucking I like the early 90s X-Men where they're all in the ridiculous outfits, and I was like, where's my cool goth punk Rogue with the awesomeness and the dark lipstick and the why is she talking like that? And it was very distressing for me. You don't understand. It was very, very distressing for me. It was very upsetting. Oh god. Oh god. I can't. But yeah, so I'm not very good with X-Men films, but I really, really, really liked X-Men First Class, and I really, really liked X-Men Days of Future Past. I liked those films a lot, and I really liked Deadpool, and I was really, really excited for X-Men Apocalypse. We went as a group
one of the
during
Kind of Funny Live
the
2
Kind of Funny
festivities.
Live.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was so pumped for it. And X-Men Apocalypse was one of the top 2 worst films I have seen in the last 10 years.
Wow.
It was hot water trash. So that goes last on the list.
Okay. As just as a fun little two side notes on that. We were the bread in an Amy Gill sandwich during X-Men Apocalypse. That was fun. We got to sit next to Amy Gill's. She might be a quirk of art. And then two that's fine, quite all right. And then 2, the fun little anecdote of that is easily because it was almost entirely a Kind of Funny audience, and because one of the Colin and Greg Live intros is that video where the Fox Fox thing plays. Yeah, that whole thing that plays. But one of the intros is basically that played on a recorder very badly. So when the Fox logo came up and the fanfare started playing, the audience was hysterical.
Yes.
And it was easily the best reaction of the movie.
Yes.
The only theater in the world where the 20th Century Fox logo got the best reaction of X-Men Apocalypse.
And the 5 people that were not Kind of Funny fans were so confused.
Yeah.
They were just like, am I missing what? I don't. Oh my god, it was so great. That was fantastic.
Yeah. So,
but that movie was
X-Men Apocalypse, the bottom of your list. Okay, let's work up. What's number 3?
I have very low standards for films. In the last 10 years,
I know we spent a lot of time talking about Batman v Superman and how you love it. Hey-o! Boom.
Yeah. I've seen 2 films I disliked. They were X-Men Apocalypse and Sucker Punch. That's it. Every other movie I've seen, I've been like, that wasn't bad. At the very least. That's that, like, I'm easy to please. I'm a very easy to please person. Like, this movie was so bad. But I will say they probably go into descending order for me. I think I think Days of Future Past was probably better. So well, sorry, I haven't seen First Class in so long. I'm trying to remember it. Is the tricky part. I'm gonna put Deadpool
It's the
number
Cuban Missile
1.
Crisis one.
Yeah, I'll put
Cuban...
Deadpool at the top because anything is better than X-Men. Besides Spider-Man. Spider-Man is definitely worse than X-Men. Because Spider-Man is the worst superhero.
Wow. Shots fired.
Shots fired. Yeah.
Kaylie's never going on another podcast now. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Woomer.
So I would say we'll put Deadpool number 1, X-Men Apocalypse at the bottom, and then I do like the aesthetic. So we'll put First Class second and Days of Future Past third. Also because it's sexist bullshit, because Days of Future Past is a Kitty Pryde story that they turned into a Wolverine story. And that's bullshit sexism.
I mean, I don't think it's sexism so much as Wolverine is like their moneymaker in that whole franchise. They've built the franchise around Hugh Jackman in that role. So
half sexism, half homophobia.
Okay.
Ellen Page is a lesbian.
I'm aware. I got that's the reference you were making.
No, I'm just being. Well, it's fine.
And I'm pretty sure it was more like business executives being like,
I know.
Well, Wolverine makes us way more money, so he should be in more of this movie than
he's
Ellen
getting
Page.
old.
He's
getting real old.
And
poor old man Logan.
And Old Man Logan is, Logan is the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even been keeping up on it, but hopefully it's the Old Man Logan story, since that's one of the more interesting tales left they have to kind of pull from.
And because he's old now, so it would make sense.
And he's getting older. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I made my list. Let's see, a week ago. Let's see. So bottom for me, because I've seen all of them. Bottom for me is.
Well, la-di-da.
I just I'm a sucker for superhero movies, even the bad ones that I know are gonna suck. And it's that's the kind of thing that like my family and I can go see together, where it's like we can have a day and we'll go see a stupid action movie. We'll go see something like Star Trek or Star Wars or a Disney movie or a superhero movie. Like we can go see those things together as a family. And have nice happy thoughts. So bottom of my list, Origins Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine, their first attempt at Deadpool, where they got rid of the Merc with the mouth. It was just so laughably bad, and like the graphics were horrible. Like I remember seeing that in the theater and like looking at the he pulls his claws out at one point, Wolverine in front of a mirror, and it was just like, wow, that is like 90s level CGI right there. You guys clearly didn't even finish this shot. This is painful. X-Men 3, The Last Stand is next. Then we get up to your bottom of the barrel, Apocalypse. Then I have the Wolverine as kind of the last of my it's not that I thought the Wolverine was a bad movie. It was just forgettable. And I didn't this is probably me being racist, so sorry, but I just didn't have the connection to the Japanese storyline of the Wolverine. I thought it was really cool that they put that kind of storyline in a major motion picture, franchise like that. And they didn't, just make it. They didn't just adapt it to okay, let's tell that story, but let's tell it in New York or something like that. It was cool that they did it, but I've watched that movie once and forgot about it. So then we get into my good ones, where I like Days of Future Past. It's number 5 for me, but I think I put First Class kind of above it because it was we didn't expect First Class to be good, and it was. So,
and
good
I
for
like
them.
Darwin.
And Darwin, there you go. Then we go to the very first one, X-Men. The original X-Men is my number 3. Then Deadpool is my number 2 because I thought that came in and just did everything it needed to do and more. And then the pinnacle for me is X2. I think that's where they had kind of everything spinning, going well, and then it just kind of with Last Stand, Wolverine Origins, and then before they started rebooting it, it was like, oh, it just fell off a cliff after X2. So that's my ranking of the X-Men movies. Haven't watched any of them in quite some time, save like the most recent ones of X-Men Apocalypse and Deadpool. But even those I haven't like rewatched since they've been out on DVD, Blu-ray. Is X-Men Apocalypse? I mean, it's got to be right.
X-Men Apocalypse is coming out on Blu-ray because White Castle is having a promotion for it.
Okay, so it's not out yet? Oh, I would have thought it would have been out by now.
It's either about to be out or it just came out.
Okay. What was it? Somebody, like, I watched like Honest Trailers and I watched CinemaSins and stuff like that. Well, not CinemaSins so much anymore, but Honest Trailers I still watch a lot. And like, I know they did that. I think they did the trailer for that one not too long ago. So that usually means it's like out or it's about to be out. So yeah, that's the X-Men movies ranked, the official Trove Talke X-Men rankings by your host, Trevor Starkey, and half of them ranked by Kaylie Woomer.
I think I got a third of them.
No, you got like 44.44444 because there have been 9, and so you've seen 4 of them. So it's like it's almost half, not quite.
Nice math skills. Appreciate it.
800 on my math SATs. Boom. Perfect.
I didn't have to take the SATs.
I'm fine. I had a perfect
but
on
I did get a
math.
33 on my math ACTs.
Yeah, I had like a perfect score on my math ACT. What was it? 36. Yeah, I had that on my my math ACTs. Like I was good in math, is what I'm saying. I was a nerd in math. I knew like quadratic equations. I took like up through Calc 3 in college back when I was like studying engineering and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, math. Stay in school, kids.
But don't
if you can take math, you'll probably statistically make more money, because I'm pretty sure studies have shown that kind of thing, because you can be like a financial analyst or an accountant or something and they make good money. So
as a person studying accounting in college right now, all you need to take is up to statistics, and that's the only math class you need to get a degree in accounting.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you, TurboTax, for doing all the work for them.
It's clutch.
So thank you for joining me, Kaylie, and thank you for coming back and joining me for part 2 to round out the episode. I'll immediately basically try and edit the first little chunk that we've recorded together tonight into what we had last week and get that up hopefully by midnight, because that's when I try and get the episodes put up, even if I don't like publish them or like I'll publish it, but then I won't really promote it until people are actually awake tomorrow. But so hopefully I'll get it up tonight by midnight. If not, and you're seeing this obviously 2 days later, doesn't matter anyway, because it's up by now. It's up by the time you're seeing this. If this episode is up by the time you're seeing it, it's up. We're good. I made it. I got it to happen. If not, I probably died. If this never sees the light of day, I died, and Kaylie was the last one to see me alive. She's the murderer.
Shit, damn it. This is evidence. It must be destroyed.
Yeah. She's in Seattle. Mm-hmm.
And not Mexico.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, Kaylie. Do you want to plug anything before we wrap up?
So
Twitter.
This is the same time next week? This is like a permanent thing?
Huh?
I'm on now? I got hired?
No. You got to go do microbits.
God damn it! I can't just. We're a thing now.
Well, we talked last week of like, oh, so maybe I'll be hired at IGN by next week, and this will have been the last episode, and I knew I had already kind of been hired by IGN at that point, but I didn't know if I was gonna like be making it public quite yet. But Trevor Trove or Trove Talk will continue. Unless in the next day or two they call me and say, hey, move to San Francisco. We're continuing. I'm going to keep doing this for a little while as I juggle this and the freelance and my other day job. So so follow Kaylie on Twitter at quirkxofxart. That's where she tweets out funny things.
I love making you say my Twitter, Trevor.
Quirkxofxart. Quirks of
Yes.
Because art.
Maybe I want to pronounce them like Z's.
Yeah, that's where you'll find her ramblings and her horribly inaccurate tweets about the DC movies. Real quick, I wanted to circle back and we just kind of decided to wrap it up instead. Who's your favorite DC character? Did we touch on that at all? I don't think we did.
My favorite DC character is Raven from the Teen Titans.
Raven from the Teen Titans. Okay, we might have said that. That might sound familiar. Okay, excellent choice. I don't know anything about Raven from the Teen Titans except I've seen like an episode or two of the Teen Titans. She's the one that wears like the hoodie and is magic, right?
Yes, she is. I will tell you so much about the Teen Titans next time we hang out, Trevor.
Okay. Well, we talked extensively about the Teeny Titans. So
I love the Teeny Titans.
We at least covered those bases. But I look forward to delving into the Teen Titans with you next time we hang out, which will probably be PSX at this point, if not some random sooner time. Well, thank you, Kaylie, for joining me.
In Seattle.
Huh?
I can what? Play with me in Seattle.
I can't come. I was just in Seattle. I did that already.
No, that was like over a month ago.
Was it over a month ago? I feel like it was like a month-ish ago, but okay, whatever.
That was over a month ago.
All right, fine.
Barely,
whatever.
Still over 6 weeks.
Yeah, okay. I guess it was beginning of September. Fine. Ooh. Labor Day weekend, whatever. Thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. I'm glad we got to talk for like an hour and a half before we even like went to record and finish this last bit of the episode. And I did not record that this time, so I can't like pull that out as deleted scene or anything, which is fine because we talk some shit. So, I mean, who'd we talk shit about?
Everyone.
So many people. No, not really. Like one person. No, not even like one person. We were just shooting the shit. Thank you for joining me, Kaylie. As always, I'm your host, Trevor Starkey, at Snarky Starkey on Twitter. You can follow the podcast at Trove Talke. You can check out trevortrove.com. I did last week, I did a big weeks-long push of reviews because I hadn't published anything recently on the site. It's just been kind of working behind the scenes. And now I've been working on like IGN news articles and stuff. And then I had one of my favorite things that I've written in recent memory. I took my whole magical weekend that we kind of talked about earlier in the show, and I turned it into a fairy tale. It was like I just decided to have some fun with it, and it was a fun little creative writing exercise that I did. So check that out. It's Trevor's Magical San Francisco Adventure. So it'll be like somewhere near the top of Trevor Trove if you're watching this right after the show came out. Otherwise, Google Trevor Trove and then that title, and you will see it. And you can see how I became an IGN freelancer in fairy tale form. So I think that's it for the plugs. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the long episode. If you watched the long episode, because this is really got to be pushing 5 hours, probably the longest one yet, because we talked like 2 hours on just your gaming history, and then we talked like an hour of DC Comics. So yeah, always a pleasure, Kaylie. Thank you again for joining me. Thank you, audience, for watching and, as I said earlier in the episode, making everything possible. And until next time, insert closing tag here. Now I'm awkwardly closing and turning off the broadcast.